Here's the 3 most underrated bodyweight exercises you're not doing. 1. Half muscle-ups improve the skill of pulling. No wasted energy dipping. 2. Wall handstands are the smarter way to progress and are useful for all levels. 3. The Pelican curl grows functional biceps for pain-free pulling and bulletproof elbows. What's the most underrated bodyweight exercise in your opinion? Let's chat about this in more detail. The half muscle up provides all of the advantages without the downsides. You're probably looking at this variation and thinking, what's the point? The half muscle up is the smartest and most optimal way to improve. This exercise addresses the most difficult parts and skips the dip. We're training explosive pull-ups and practicing the technique for transition success. If you can't progress with muscle ups, dip strength is rarely the reason. Once we can pull our chest over the bar, most people are sweet to lock out and finish the rep. Why then do we as a calisthenics culture default to full range muscle ups? We're wasting our precious resources on the bodyweight dip, which serves minimal utility. Instead, it makes sense we direct all of our attention to improving the weak links, which are holding us back. The half muscle up will have you pulling more explosive and also improving coordination. Guys, when it comes to calisthenics, everything we do in our training should be done for a reason. This mindset is going to give us the biggest return on our effort without wasting our precious resources. A common calisthenics challenge is how best to structure all of the exercises we want to train. The half muscle up is easy to fit into your schedule because we've eliminated the dip. We can categorize this variation as a pull and treat it accordingly. These are best included at the start of a pulling or upper body workout. Muscle ups should be featured at the start of a workout. This is because of the explosive and technical requirements. The half muscle up is a variation which won't conflict with your other training goals. You're no longer going to be burdened by the pseudo pushing fatigue, which comes from unproductive straight bar dips. Here's a summary of the key techniques for sound form. During your half muscle ups, you want to keep your scapula engaged into depression. This is very important, especially during the pull phase, to maximize your efficiency and also stability. Otherwise, we want to keep a hollow body posture. This helps to make sure that you're not flopping around, and it's going to make your muscle ups much more successful. If you're struggling with half muscle ups, swinging, kipping, and using a lot of momentum, that is a clear sign that you don't have enough explosive pulling power. Go back to your pull-ups, build your foundation first, and this one is going to be productive afterwards. The most important technique tip that I can provide is to stay close to the bar when you're pulling. This is going to make your muscle ups easier and also increase your performance. As you pull up and over the bar into the transition, I want you all using an active dipping technique. This is going to have a greater transferability to your real muscle ups. Don't get lazy by flopping over and just resting passively on the bar. During your muscle ups, the grip width determines your technique. The closer your hands are, you're going to be using more of a tucked elbow position. The further apart your hands are, the more flared your elbows are going to be. Neither is better or worse, but that is the impact of the biomechanics with your grip width. Everyone from beginner to advanced can improve quicker when using the wall. The biggest advantage of using a wall is there's no need to balance. This training environment is optimal for increasing overhead strength endurance. The downside with freestanding handstands is most people lose their balance before muscle fatigue. Only training freestanding won't unlock your full potential. This training approach is a common reason for plateauing. Thanks to the extra contact points and stability, our pushing muscles can be genuinely challenged. With the wall, we're able to push our muscles to their limit and beyond. This allows you to focus on one thing, increasing handstand hold time. Unless you're able to tolerate 3 to 5 sets of 60 plus seconds on the wall handstand, stick to the wall. It's important we have a buffer of capacity when it comes to our handstands. The wall helps us gain a surplus of overhead strength endurance because we're building more time. This way, when you return to freestanding, the expanded capacity will make balancing much easier. Another advantage of the wall is it's an excellent method for understanding body alignment. Having a tactile reference helps us to correctly stack our joints one over the other. The wall is your personal handstand teacher. It's constantly providing feedback. You're able to make adjustments to your posture based on the wall pressure and also body tension. What's best about the wall is how it makes everything more efficient and effective. If we lose balance, the wall is there to catch us, which increases the amount of quality practice. Even if you're comfortable balancing a handstand, the wall remains valuable for advanced athletes. Once again, it's going to provide perspective of body orientation in space. The downside with freestanding is it's difficult to know if you're correctly stacked. We often feel in good alignment when in reality, we're flopping around everywhere. Most of the best hand balancers in the world insist on their students using a wall. This is because it keeps you honest and it keeps you strict. The wall is going to let you know straight away if you're under or over balancing. Corrections are going to happen organically. The first thing we need to consider is, should we go chest to wall or back to wall? Let's talk about it. The back to wall variation is not recommended because it tends to instill bad habits. We're more likely to use a banana back, there's less contact points with the wall, and it's just not recommended for beginners getting into their handstands. The chest to wall handstand is recommended by everyone in calisthenics and also hand balancers at large. The reason for this is we can get a better awareness of our body in space, we can stack our joints, and it has a much better transfer to strength skills later on. With regard to the shoulders in the handstand, you want to internally rotate, you want to retract, and you also want to elevate the shoulders. This creates enough space within your glenohumeral joint to get maximum shoulder flexion and your handstand much more stacked. In terms of your hands, you should have them shoulder width apart. The reason for this, it challenges your overhead mobility to improve. And number two, it has the greatest transfer to calisthenic strength because it promotes a tucked elbow orientation for the strength skills to come. With regard to tension in your handstand, we want to take a top-down approach. We want to have the most tension in our upper body, and as we go down, progressively less and less. With our shoulders, we want to push tall, elevating the scapula. With our stomach and our glutes, we want to have just enough tension to prevent any banana back and maintain our position. As we go progressively down the body, you're going to have less tension, just enough in the legs in order to maintain your posture and the stacking of your joints. If you're watching and you feel scared to kick upside down, or you just lack strength, you should try out pike handstands first. These allow you to build overhead strength without fully committing just yet. Pike handstands are perfect for beginners new to inversion. Gross technique for these is very similar to the handstand. You want to have straight arms, you want to push tall, you want to stack your joints, and of course, embrace the burn. During your handstand, you want to try and get yourself as close to the wall as possible. At the start, you might be further away based on your strength, confidence, and ability in the handstand, but definitely challenge yourself to try and get close to the wall as soon as possible. That way, you're in a more stacked alignment and it's going to translate better to freestanding. Let's continue to the next exercise. Pelican curls target the biceps in a unique way for complete calisthenics gains. Which is the best way to train? The bar or the rings? If you have access to rings, this is definitely the superior option. Rings are free to move, whereas a bar is rigidly fixed. The ability for the rings to move means your body also moves through a range of strength and comfort. The orientation of the shoulders relative to the elbows and wrists will automatically be optimal for your mobility. We all come in different shapes and sizes with our upper body structure. Rings plus pelican curls make bicep training a possibility for all body proportions and flexibility levels. The pelican curl is an effective isolation exercise for muscle growth. We're using an eccentric contraction or negative to grow bigger. The bicep muscle is creating tension as it lengthens. That's the real value of these bad boys. By performing only negative reps, we can train the biceps with supramaximal effort. The ideal posture is one where you can control the negative but lack the strength to curl back up. Forced negatives with the pelican curl are a training method which is guaranteed to pack on bicep size. Don't forget, a larger muscle has the potential to be a stronger muscle. Bigger biceps can become functionally useful on compound calisthenics when you teach them how. Ring curls aren't only about aesthetics, they also build strength at length. The pelican exercise challenges the biceps most when lengthening. We can see the bicep stress peaks towards full elbow extension. Contrast this with a chin-up where the biceps are worked most when shortening. Most other calisthenics exercises challenge the biceps towards full elbow flexion. The pelican curl stimulates the biceps in a non-traditional manner, warding off acute injuries. Most bicep tears happen at full stretch when contracting and creating tension. The pelican curl provides complete size, strength, and resilience benefits. Many people suffer from chronic elbow pain, being golfer's elbow, aka medial epicondylalgia. Isolating the bicep muscles reduces the risk of experiencing an overuse injury. Bigger, stronger biceps can bear the burden of hard training, which spares the tendons and the elbow complex. Time under tension is what makes pelican curls effective. We want to use our muscles as brakes, slowly lowering all the way down. Using a controlled negative offers the best of all worlds. We're building bicep strength into long muscle lengths. We're increasing size thanks to the muscle damage effects of slow negatives. Lastly, isolation targets the missing components of traditional compound movements, resulting in a well-rounded body. To be able to use your best technique, I recommend using chalk plus a false grip. This combination is optimal because it allows you to have a strong grip and it also shortens the lever arm of the exercise, allowing you to be mechanically stronger in the biceps and get more out of the exercise. In terms of your shoulder rotation, you can keep them neutral or you can externally rotate them during your pelican curl. Either option is fine. Go with what feels the most comfortable and strong for you. Don't overcomplicate what your scapula is doing. From the top, you want to lower down, treating it like a normal push-up, letting your scapula organically move into retraction as you lower to end range. Full range of motion pelican curls is absolutely key. To ensure this is happening, as you lower down into full elbow extension, give your tricep a squeeze every single rep. This is going to ensure that your bicep is fully stretching, fully elongating, and fully being stimulated. Thanks everyone for watching. fitnessfaqs.com for the best calisthenics programs. Otherwise, check out our free content here on YouTube, and I'll see you legends next video.